Some decisions don't test your knowledge. They test your integrity. They don't ask what's smartest or safest. They ask what kind of person you become when the stakes are high and the lines begin to blur. This isn't a thought experiment. It's a crossroads between truth and outcome, between the legacy of someone who shaped your life and the values they once taught you to hold sacred. What happens when doing the right thing means tearing down the person who gave you everything? What if exposing a lie costs real people real help? This isn't theory. This is your field, your future, your choice. Let's test your morality. You wouldn't be where you are without them. From the moment you joined the research program as a graduate assistant, your mentor took you under their wing. They saw potential in you, recognized your curiosity, your discipline, your hunger to learn. They gave you your first real opportunity, introduced you to respected figures in the field, brought you into rooms you didn't yet feel you deserved to be in. Over time, your professional relationship grew into something closer to family. Conferences turned into long dinners and late-night conversations. When you hit low points, struggles with your thesis, personal setbacks, they were there. And when you finally published your first paper, their name was right alongside yours, not as a credit-hogging senior, but as a quiet supporter who celebrated your success like it was their own. They taught you that research, at its best, is about impact. That data isn't just numbers. It's a chance to change lives. For the past year, your mentor has been fully immersed in a major research project, an ambitious, community-centered study on educational equity and youth development. The project targets underserved neighborhoods, aiming to prove that structured programs in after-school learning and mentorship dramatically reduce dropout rates and increase long-term success. If the final data reflects the hypothesis, it would be a game changer. The proposal has already drawn attention from government agencies and private donors. The final stage of funding, however, depends on the statistical strength of the outcomes. One final report, one last round of analysis. That's where you've been helping most recently. It's late, long past office hours, when you notice the first inconsistency. A few data points don't match the original records. At first, you assume it's a minor input error. It happens, but the pattern continues. Multiple figures shifted just enough to strengthen the results. You pull up backups, compare datasets, cross-reference timestamps, and then, slowly, certainty sets in. This isn't an accident. The data has been altered. You spend the next 2 hours checking and rechecking, trying to prove yourself wrong. You don't want to believe it. Not from them, not from the person who taught you to honor evidence above all else. The next morning, you confront them in private. They don't deny it. In fact, they seem almost relieved that it's finally out. They explain calmly, not defensively, not with arrogance, but with conviction. Yes, they manipulated the data. Not to fabricate a lie, they argue, but to protect a truth the numbers didn't quite reflect. The real-world impact was there. They'd seen it. They'd talked to the families, the kids, the teachers, but the raw data, cold and incomplete, didn't capture the scale of the transformation. They feared that if they submitted the unaltered results, the project would be dismissed as inconclusive. No funding, no rollout, nothing. We're not talking about padding a resume, they say. We're talking about kids who need this program now, not 5 years from now. If we don't secure this grant, it's over. The whole initiative dies. And with it, all the hope we've built in those neighborhoods. You're stunned. They go further. The manipulated report has already been submitted to the board for preliminary review. It's being passed around among stakeholders, gaining traction. You still have access to the unaltered data, but if you raise a red flag now, there will be questions, investigations, possibly a full audit. The entire project, and your mentor's career, will collapse in scandal. The children and families already counting on this initiative will be the ones who lose most. But if you say nothing, if you quietly allow it to proceed, the funding will almost certainly come through. The programs will expand, schools will get resources, families will get support, and you'll continue working under someone whose values, now, you're not sure you understand, and your silence will be part of the lie. What would you do?